Okay, good afternoon, class. We're going to learn how to evaluate functions today, which actually is just another way of saying substitution. Okay, remember that function notation is f of x equals y. Okay, it's just a fancy way to write y. So, in our function here, this is x. Okay, so what you do is you see that there's three problems listed up here. There's three different functions. You look at the problem, it says f of negative 2. So you want to use the f function and plug in negative 2 everywhere where you see an x. Okay? Then from here, you just follow the order of operations. Remember that when you square a negative, it becomes a positive. So 3 times 4 plus 2 plus 2. Okay? Just combine that together, and you should get f of negative 2 equals 16. Okay? So the left-hand side is just notation. You leave it alone. Make sure that you include your notation. And then on the right side, you just combine like terms. Or perform order of operations, sorry. All right, so then if we go to number 2, okay, notice that it says we are using g. So we're going to make sure that we use g of x. And we're just going to plug in 8 to everywhere we see an x. And then just follow the order of operations. Okay, 9 is a perfect square, so 2 times 3. So g of 8 equals 6. Okay. All right, let's do number 3. So for number 3, make sure that you use parentheses, especially when you are substituting in a negative. Okay, so a negative times a negative is a positive. So write your answer in function notation, and once again, you leave the left-hand side alone. That's just notation, and you just perform the operations on the right-hand side. All right, for number 4, we're going to use the h function. And notice that this is an expression, 3x minus 2. So our final answer is going to have an x in it. So still the same concept though. You take 3x minus 2, okay, and you substitute it everywhere where you see an x in the h function. So negative 5 times 3x minus 2 plus 3. Okay. Make sure you distribute the negative through to everything on the inside of the parentheses. So this gives me negative 15x plus 10 plus 3. So notation on the left-hand side and combine like terms on the right-hand side. Okay? You leave the x's in. Remember that we leave the left side alone. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 5. So for number 5, this time we're going to use the f function. So 3 and then in parentheses x plus 1 squared minus in parentheses x plus 1 plus 2. So make sure you are using parentheses when you are doing substitution. Now, careful here. Okay, we tend to make this mistake. This is x plus 1 times x plus 1. So we need to multiply that out first. Order of operations, exponents come first. So this gives me x squared plus 2x plus 1. And then distribute the negative through to everything on the inside of the parentheses. Now you can go ahead and distribute the 3 to the x plus 1 that you expanded. Okay. And then from there, you got rid of all the parentheses, so you just combine like terms. So 3x squared plus 5x and then plus 4. Okay? Leave it alone, don't try to factor it. Remember that we are evaluating functions, so we're plugging numbers in or expressions and then just evaluating. Okay? And then number 6, same thing. We take the g function and we substitute 3x plus 5 in. So 2 and then 3x plus 5 plus 1. Okay, we don't have to really multiply anything, but we can combine the 5 and 1. So 2 times the square root of 3x plus 6. And you just leave it like that. You don't distribute the 2. It's underneath a square root. All right, let's go ahead and take an example. Look at the next examples. So notice, once again, we have the 3 functions up top. Okay, different functions this time. But then the examples, we have an operation. Okay, we have addition, and then there's some subtraction as well. Okay, and on the next page, multiplication and division. So what you want to do is evaluate each function with the provided x. Okay, and then you perform the indicated operation. So you're going to take a look at the functions, you're going to plug in the x that's provided to you, and then after that, if it's addition, then you add the 2 together. If it's subtraction, you subtract the 2. All right, so let's take a look at number 7. So the given x is -2, and we're using f and g, okay? So for f, we have 2 times -2 plus 3. Okay, and then we're going to write in the indicated operation, so plus, and then the g function, so -2 squared plus 8 times -2. Okay, and then from there, you just follow the order of operations. So once again, what we did is we took the -2, we plugged it into f, we plugged it into g, and then here's my indicated operation, addition. Okay, and I got that from the problem. Okay, and then you just combine like terms. Okay, and in this case, this is going to add up to -13. Okay. All right, go ahead and try number 8 on your own. And if you could, pause the video, and then they'll try 8 on their own. Okay, so we should have gotten g plus h of -2 equals -14. So here's where I plugged it in to the g function. Here's where I plugged it into h. One mistake we might make is right here, the first part of h. So you might think, oh, a negative times a negative is a positive. But you have to follow the order of operations. -2 squared happens first, so that's 4 times a negative gives you -4. All right, let's go ahead and go down to number 9. Okay, we have to be careful on 9 because of the subtraction. Okay, you have to make sure that you subtract the entire function of f, or whatever the second function is. So for g, we have 3 squared minus 8 times 3 minus the entire function of f. Okay, so in this case, 2 times 3 plus 3. Okay. So we get 9. Oh, sorry, I just noticed this should be a plus. Sorry about that. So 9 plus 24 minus 2 times 3 plus 2 times 3 plus 3 gives me 9. Okay, so G minus F times 3, or of 3, equals 24. Okay, so make sure that you subtract the entire function of F. Okay. All right, go ahead, try 10 on your own, and if you could, pause the video, please, for them to try 10. Okay, so we should have gotten h minus f of -2 to be -1. So your active note right here is to make sure you subtract the entire function. And one way to help you remember to do that is to put in these parentheses right away when you're subtracting. Okay, so as soon as you see that subtraction sign, I'm going to put parentheses so that I subtract the entire function. All right, let's go ahead and go to the back page. And now we have functions once again, okay? And we are going to use multiplication and division. So for multiplication, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take the 1 and plug it in to F. Okay? And then times plugging 1 into G. Okay? So if you notice, I've been using the green for the indicator of what operation we're performing. So since we're doing multiplication, I went ahead and put parentheses around the entire functions that we are multiplying. So this gives me 5 times 9. So f of g of 1 equals 45. Okay. All right. If you could pause, and then please try 12 on your own. Okay, so for 12, you should have gotten g times h of -3 is 105. So keep the functions separated as you perform the order of operations, and then take your final answers and multiply them together. So once again, one mistake we might have made was right here. This is a positive 9 times a -1, so that's how you get -9. Okay? All right. Division, 13. So just like we've been doing, we're going to take 3 and plug it into G. Okay, and then plus 8 times 3. I'm going to use the green for division. And then dividing by F, so 2 times 3 plus 3. Perform all the operations. 9 plus 24 is 33 over 9. So G of F of 3 equals 33 over 9. Okay, we're going to call it a day after that. Your homework tonight is worksheet 1. So please go ahead. There are paper copies. Get to work on that. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.